Welcome live to the Fowler Show here on this Thursday, the 24th of March. At an earlier time, the last time I was live at this time of day was last year in May of 2021 with a great group of guys from the band White Said Thread who did that famous song, I'm Too Sexy. So I wonder, since we're back at this time again in 2022, because of my hour in judgment of what time it was, because the clocks here in the UK have not gone back, not gone forward an hour yet, because it's still 5 p.m. GMT time. While in Alabama, it's currently what time is that? 12 o'clock in the on the west Central Coast time. 12 o'clock there, and it's 1 p.m. Eastern, and it's 11 a.m. on the West Coast. I want to say, I could be wrong about that. Maybe 10 a.m. on the West Coast, but something like that. So we've gone in about an hour earlier. So I do apologise for that for anybody who wants to watch this from the UK. So apologies for the hour earlier. But we are live with ProSouth's YouTube champion, Dameon Ceretone, is here live right here via Skype. Welcome to the show, and he's got the belt showing us the fabulous belt there, and you've been YouTube champion now for quite a while, haven't you?
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, it's been quite a few months actually. It was because I ended it in December, which means I won Tony Midas. I think at the beginning of December.
Yeah, no, it's been a long time, hasn't it? It's gone quite fast. And let's see, back in February of this year, I think it was, we were announced that Rhyno, by, of course, the Commissioner Amy Haven, of course, making the big announcement that Rhyno would be coming in. When you first heard that announcement, what was going through your mind of things? Were you a bit worried that he might have took your place on the card at first when you first heard it?
Oh, no. If anything, I knew I would have my place on the card. I always did. When AJ Styles came in and faced Jimmy Rave in the main event, I was ProSouth champion at the time, and it moved me to semi-main. So if anything, I thought, I would just somebody from somewhere else. At first when I found out that I was going to, Rhyno was going to become the ProSouth, I never thought it was going to be me that was going to be facing Rhyno, to be honest.
Well, we will go on to that in a few minutes, but when you heard the announcement, were you quite shocked, or were you quite happy that you get to share a locker room and and to learn hopefully some great advice and great leadership from Rhyno?
Oh, I was ecstatic because it's different when you grow up watching somebody, you know their accolades, everything like that, and then also he still works for Impact.
Yeah.
And everything, so he's still an active competitor. It's not like he's only working indies or anything like that. So he's still, no matter how long he's been doing this, he's still going hard no matter what, and that's always appreciated. And knowing that he can come in not only with the wealth of experience, wealth of knowledge that he's had over the career he's built, the fact that he is still active means he's not too far of a touch away from the guys as we are now.
Exactly. No, he's still busy as ever, and he's still as popular as ever. If it was 2001 or the 90s, because you came out to the ring, didn't you, 2 or 3 weeks ago, maybe a bit longer than that, cutting a great end segment, saying that you should be the one to face Rhyno at Redemption tomorrow night, live on youtube.com/ProSouth Wrestling. The YouTube link is in the description below of this video, so make sure you click that and set your reminders to be there or be squared. Of course, the stream begins at 1:30 in the morning Eastern time, and 1:30 in the morning. That's half time. That's morning hour time. That's 7:30 p.m. Central Time, 8:30 p.m. Eastern time, midnight hour time here in the UK. Usually at 1:30, but for the past 2 weeks, half past midnight, because our clocks haven't gone forward yet. They go forward this Sunday to make us into British summertime. But I mean, what made you say that you were the guy to face Rhyno then on March 25th in the ProSouth arena? What made you think that you were the right guy, to challenge Rhyno? Have we lost you? Oh, we might have lost that. Oh, he's back. Welcome back. Sorry about that. We didn't get any. If you were talking a minute ago, we didn't hear you. So could you repeat?
Oh, that's fine. What I was saying is, basically, I sit back and I watch a lot of people be given opportunities, and also, had a hand in a lot of people being given opportunities, and there comes a point where you're thinking, man, I've given, I've helped, and everything like that, but maybe it's time for this to be me, because I've been doing this for a while now, and I feel like I'm just as good, if not better, than just about anybody that stepped into ProSouth. And so when it comes down to is if Rhyno was coming in and we were going to do this, then we're going to do it right. I was going to step in. I was going to apply my trade. I was going to throw my cards along, and then I was going to face Rhyno, because anyone else, it could have been anyone else. Really, we could have brought somebody in. It could have been, Cameron Keys, ProSouth champion. That's
who I thought it was going to be. I was expecting it to be, but I was quite shocked when you decided to come out to the ring and say it's going to be you. So, way to go, by the way. Great way to put yourself out there.
Well, the thing is, with it being Cameron, with the possibility of it being Cameron, was, I would love to see Rhyno just come in and decimate Cameron. It would make my night. It really would. But better than pulling up a chair, I'd much rather stand across from Rhyno in the ring, and because I'm never gonna know, I'm never gonna be able to prove it myself whether I can beat Rhyno or not. And so, in order to see and take it in, whether to give my best performance, to do the best that I've ever done, I decided to put the YouTube Championship on the line, because if I put the YouTube Championship on the line, there's either one of two things that's going to happen. Either one, I'm going to beat him, and I'm going to keep the YouTube Championship, and it's going to boost everything there at ProSouth, including the title, but also my stock. Or two, he beats me and he takes the YouTube Championship, and it'll be great exposure for ProSouth either way, because Rhyno being such a big star and it being the YouTube title, I would like to think it would get a lot more views and everything like that if Rhyno won. But it's going to make me fight harder to keep it, because I know if Rhyno wins the YouTube Championship, I don't know when Rhyno will be back. I don't know if Rhyno will vacate it. I don't know what will happen with the championship. So for a championship that I've earned, and honestly, when I got the title, I feel like it was a little more of an undercard title, a title that was more of a joke for characters and stuff like that. No offense to the guys that have held it before, but I just feel like it needed to come to that next level. And so when I won the title, I was like, that's where I'm going to take it. So when I knew Rhyno was coming in, I knew that YouTube Championship had to be on the line.
Gotcha. Well, you make sense, because you obviously saw the championship as a joke, as you say, your quotes, not mine, and you want to take it to the next level to make it more prestigious. So and with this big match coming up tomorrow night, the picture on your screen there, the card is right there for the YouTube Championship, you against Rhyno. And it's now, I think, I could be wrong, I think it's going to be the main event of the match, of the night. I hope it will be, because Rhyno deserves to be in the main event because of his, his status and his legacy. And you deserve to be in the main event because you've earned your spot for crafting and all your hard work over the past few months to make the YouTube Championship as if it was one of the top belts in the company, more prestigious than the actual ProSouth Championship altogether. So, hopefully it should be the main event, and I can see why you have taken it to the next level, I should say. So we'll see what happens tomorrow night, have to say. And you got it under ECW rules, because I think it was it last week or the week before you came out and you said you didn't want the Rhyno who has been in WWE or the Impact Wrestling Rhyno. You wanted the ECW Rhyno. Why did you want to have the ECW Rhyno instead of the current Rhyno or the Rhyno from 20 years ago?
I want the best Rhyno. And in my mind, the man who was holding 2 championships as the company went out of business, which had nothing to do with himself. He was on top at the time that ECW went under. And there was no more dangerous Rhyno. There was no more, aggressive Rhyno. To me, there was no more focused Rhyno than there was the one in ECW, because the thing is like, he came in WWE and everything else, and there was a lot of talent there at the time, and it was right off the Attitude Era and stuff. But WWE has this thing where they like to shuffle people, and they like to not use people to their full potential. And I feel like that's what happened with Rhyno. Rhyno had a lot of good times in WWE. Rhyno, had a lot of success in WWE, but I still feel like they shuffled him around a little bit, and that he could have been a lot bigger than they gave him the opportunity to be. And that was all it was, his opportunity, because had he been given the opportunity, I believe he would have rose to the occasion. And when it comes down to, TNA Impact Rhyno, he's all about fighting for the company, fighting for the spirit of the company, stuff like that. I don't want a Rhyno that's going to fight for the company. I want a Rhyno that's going to fight for Rhyno. I want Rhyno to come in, and I want Rhyno to be the most dangerous Rhyno, because if that's the Rhyno that I get, and if that's the Rhyno that I beat, then, to me, it's way more important. It's deeper there, because if I can beat him at his own game, then there's nothing else I can't do.
Gotcha. Should be quite an interesting match. And again, reminder, if you want to watch that match tomorrow night, it's going to be live on youtube.com/ProSouth. The link is in our description below, between our guest today, the YouTube champion, against Rhyno. And I should say that I don't think the fans of ProSouth want you to lose, because as you said, Rhyno might not be coming back to ProSouth anytime soon. I mean, he could take the belt for a whole year, for instance. Speculation. I'm just saying he could be gone for a year before he comes back to defend that YouTube championship. Imagine. But hopefully, you have to do everything in your power to keep your belt. So if you have to take dirty tricks, if you got to have interference, if you need any help or anything like that, because you never know what you may get with this dangerous Rhyno, because you might have to eat your words, because you might not expect the Rhyno you may not want it to open up. That makes sense.
Yeah, and that's that's always an opportunity that I'm willing to stare in the face of. Basically, I don't see myself pulling in anyone from outside of the match, any interference, anything like that. Now, when it comes down to doing things that I don't always do, you're probably going to see a lot more of that. You are, because if you've been watching over the past 4 weeks, it's been like, normally I'll win with the brain buster I call Sleep the Deep, and over the past 4 weeks, I faced Marcus Erics. Marcus Erics has a move he calls falling in reverse, where he takes him up like a brain buster, drops him down in a cutter. Oh, yeah. I knew that if I faced Marcus Erics, that he would be expecting, the lifting brain buster. So Marcus Erics went for the sleep. When he went for his falling in reverse, I caught him in a dragon sleeper, and that's how we ended that. And then you had Shane Mako, who came in, and Shane, Shane's been to ProSouth a lot, and he's studied ProSouth a lot, and I knew he would be expecting it also. And so what I did is basically I nixed that out of there, and I ended up beating him with a triangle choke. And then Proc came in, and Proc's a bigger guy. Proc is, every bit of close to 300 pounds, and he is a monster. But it was, lifting him up after trying to damage his leg the whole match, after trying to, basically put him down, it just wasn't going to happen. It wasn't going to happen, So what it came down to is, I took advantage of the situation. I applied a leg lock on Proc, and that was how I won. So over the past month, I've been winning with submissions. But, in the back of my head, I go, do I pull out the brain buster, the Sleep the Deep? Do I pull out, all of these things that I know I may have to No, there's no May to it. All the things I know I will have to pull out to beat Rhyno, because I've never faced anyone like Rhyno. I've faced a lot of people. I've been in the ring with the likes of Glacier, O'Shea Edwards, Kyle Matthews, people, tough as nails in my opinion, like Trevor Aon and Jimmy Rave. And in all of these times that I've been in the ring with these people, I've had to adapt my style in order to not only survive but win. So when Rhyno comes in tomorrow night, I'm going to have to do things that I haven't done in a long time. I'm going to have to do things that I never thought I would have to resort to. And, maybe if I can't put him down with that brainbuster, I'm going to have to put him down another way.
We'll have to look forward to see what kind of game plan you have then, because we don't want you to just tell us this, because of course Rhyno might be listening to this. Probably not, but you never know, because we don't want to give him any upper hands, do we now, to keep the YouTube Championship in-house in ProSouth. But I mean, have you heard anything from Rhyno? After you, great segments about Rhyno, have you heard any responses from Rhyno ahead of your upcoming match tomorrow night, or he been completely silent to you? He's not even acknowledged you at all in any way?
Rhyno actually sent a promo that played overhead, and I'm not sure if everyone's caught up with the show yet, but basically, Rhyno told me that he's ready to hear the fans chant ECW, and that he, more importantly, is ready to hear the fans chant Gore, 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 as he's standing across from me. I hope he gets his wish. I really hope he does. I hope he gets here and he gets to hear him chant Gore, because he could tear me in half with the Gore. He could.
And how are you preparing?
Easily.
And how are you preparing about possibly taking a Gore from Rhyno? Are you got any game plans for that, or are you just going to take it as a man kind of thing? And hopefully, you never know, because I've seen a match years ago in ECW when it was Rhyno against Sabu at ECW One Night Stand in 2005. A credible match. Have you been doing your homework over some of his best matches in ECW ahead of tomorrow night?
I've been watching Rhyno for most of my life, as long as I've been watching wrestling. I feel honestly there's no way to prepare for the Gore. There isn't, and I honestly feel like there's never been a match that Rhyno has been in which he has. Let's say I feel I'm the underdog in this situation. Rhyno comes in, he's the guy. He's the one everybody's expecting to walk out. He's the one everyone's expecting to win. And he's never been in a situation where he has an upper hand, where he hasn't tried to or successfully hit that Gore.
Interesting.
I know that. I know that he's going to have to hit that Gore. I know somewhere in that match that I'm going to have to take that Gore. Unfortunately, there's no getting away from it. No matter how much I prepare, because it's going to come out of nowhere. And I know that. But it's the preparation of. If I got to take that Gore, if I'm going to get hit by Rhyno full speed, then I have to have something to counter Rhyno hitting me full speed. So I'm going to have to pull a few things out of my hat when it comes down to it. Don't want to spoil anything, don't want to say anything, but I'm gonna. There's things I'm going to have to do because you can't always avoid the Gore.
That's true. That is true, and we wish you the best of luck for whatever happens tomorrow night, and hopefully make the best man win. But on that thought, though, of you say that you're the underdog, I don't think you are the underdog, because it feels like more like Rhyno is walking into a trap, because he's probably not seen any of your work. He doesn't know what he's expecting from you. He doesn't know what hidden tricks you may have. So realistically, Rhyno is the underdog in this match, because he's probably been so busy that he's not had a chance to actually watch any tapes of you working.
I mean, and that's possibly true. But when it comes down to it, is Rhyno. Yeah. It's when it comes down to it, it's Rhyno's faced some of the greatest wrestlers of all time, and you know, and maybe that's the way it is. Maybe Rhyno's not really worried about me, and maybe, you know, there's two sides to that coin. Maybe he either shouldn't be. Maybe he comes in and he destroys me. Who knows? He could come in. This could be a 5-minute match.
I hope
comes
not.
In.
I hope not be 5-minute match, because that'd be a waste of everybody's attention when everyone's tickets or everybody's watching on YouTube, especially people in the UK who'll be watching for midnight 30, half past midnight in the morning live to see what was going to happen between yourself and Rhyno. I don't think that many British fans will be very happy staying up all night for 2 hours, odd hours, to finally see the match of the night to last for 5 minutes. I don't think that would be very. I think there'd be a lot of backlash for you and Rhyno.
Well, I mean, the thing is, it's like, it all depends on how he prepares and what he does. Like I said, he's faced some of the greatest of all time. He could come in and he could just destroy me within 5 minutes, or he could come in and I could be more than he expects.
Yeah, perhaps. You never know.
And I'm hoping for the latter. Because God knows I do not want to get in there with Rhyno and bite off more than I can chew. You say he's the underdog and stuff like that, but I've seen who he's faced. I've seen who he's been against. I've seen what he's done in the ring. And to me, Rhyno is one of the most dangerous wrestlers I've ever seen when it comes down to just being in the ring with him, much less being there in an ECW rules match.
Yeah.
So I have to really, I have to be on my A game. There's no other option here, really.
Now, for people who may know what's ECW and might not understand what ECW rules means, can you explain the rules for the match then? What is, of course, we know weapons will be involved, obviously, but what else is under ECW rules?
ECW rules is basically, ECW set the standard for hardcore wrestling all over the world. Because without ECW, we probably wouldn't have as much influence of hardcore wrestling. But basically, ECW is developed this rule of anything goes. Basically, all weapons were legal. All, they were able to go anywhere in the arena. When it came down to it, it was, definitely something that modified wrestling. And it brought it to a hardcore style. So basically, ECW, when you think ECW, you think of any hardcore match you could ever imagine was derived from ECW. So those rules all apply. There's, weapons. All weapons are legal. Anything could happen. We go anywhere in the arena. And then, all in all, the match only ends by pinfall, submission, or KO. And that's it.
Fair enough. Sounds simple, doesn't it? A simple rule book. We might get the chance to see for the first time ever on YouTube, I think, the car park of ProSouth. I would love to see the outside of the arena, so hopefully the action goes out to the outside. Might see some cars get destroyed, hopefully. That'd be quite good. Sorry in advance to any cars who does, because they're not mine. And, just bad luck of where you parked, I guess. If the action does go on the outside, out the arena, it'd be quite good, wouldn't it? So if you're able to get past Rhyno, then what will be next for you then after Rhyno?
I mean, the sky's the limit, really. If I get past Rhyno, there's only one option here, honestly. If I topple Rhyno, I've held every title. Actually, you look at the past couple of years, I've held them over again. Every single championship, but the ProSouth Championship. I've held, the All Out Championship in the past couple of years. I've held the Tag Team Championships with Ace Haven.
Who's not been seen for weeks, by the way. There's a rumor going around, according to the internet, that he might be appearing tonight. So.
He may be. I've stayed in contact with Ace.
That's what
over
the chatter.
Everything
that's what the chatter is on the internet. That apparently Ace Haven is going to be showing up tonight as Amy Haven's guest opponent. So we'll see if that's come true. We've not seen him for weeks. He just disappeared. vanished.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You know, he was put in a coffin. He was buried by Cameron Keast. Not something that I saw coming. I thought Ace was going to walk out of there with the ProSouth
See, that's where
Championship.
you're wrong. Cameron Keast is one of the best in the world right now. So just like you two on the same level. Maybe you two got through him.
And that's the thing is, like, I thought one-on-one like Cameron Keast would you know, I thought Ace would top him. It's just because I've known Ace for so long, and you know, we've had that conversation of he's going to have to go in deeper and find out that you know, he's got to be more than Ace the wrestler. And you know, I've told him this many times. And that night, he just had to be expecting everything to be thrown at him because you know, it wasn't only Cameron. It was, you know, Harley. It was Reynolds. Everything was thrown at Ace that night, and that's something that that I myself have watched. No matter what, you know, I've had my matches and everything like that, but I have paid close attention and also kept in contact with Ace over this time, and saw that Cameron Keast is, you know, he's quote unquote ruling the roost at ProSouth, but he's burning a lot of bridges also. You know, recently with Reynolds, then before that with Dorian. And, you know, Cameron Keast is every bit as good as you say he is. But there's going to come a time where it's only going to be Cameron Keast in the ring, and standing across from him is going to be me. And he's not going to have to be good. He's going to have to be the best.
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
So, so the answer to your question is, what's next? If I beat Rhyno, if I win, I will be throwing my hat in for the ProSouth Championship. I don't care if that puts the YouTube Championship on the line. I don't care if that, you know, what I have to do to get there. I feel like I've, you know, back when Culprit was the ProSouth champion, I was one of the last people other than Ace to beat Culprit. I don't feel like I ever got my shot then. So when it came down to it, it's time. It's past time that I apply my trade for the ProSouth Championship, because there is nothing left. Whether I beat Rhyno or not, if I don't, you know, we go down and we reanalyze, we do things different, we build back up. But if I do, there's nothing left. There's nothing left but the ProSouth Championship, and I'll be coming for the ProSouth Championship.
Interesting. Well, we wish you the best of luck, and hopefully the management will finally listen to your arguments and say that, look, these are good arguments and good points to make. Why not? You know, kind of thing. And if they don't listen to you, just take the show hostage or do something to get their attention. You know, type thing. That might work as well. Or it might not work and it might get you kicked out of the arena. We don't want that to happen either. Because you'd be missed then as well, because then you might just disappear like Ace Haven has. So let's see. So you know, you talk about you know, possible people you want to face before. Who else do you want to face in 2022 then? Is there any other legends you want to bring to ProSouth, who you want to get in the ring with, or any other ProSouth up and coming talent as well?
Let's see. When you mention ProSouth up and coming talent, I see a lot in very few people that I haven't really gotten, you know, whether I've had one match or a couple of matches with them or 0 matches with them. I see a lot of potential in Aaron Dallas. Aaron Dallas has a lot of potential. I've never had a match with Aaron Dallas. I've never faced him. So, you know, I would love to wrestle Aaron Dallas. Let's see. Tyrese Murphy. He just came in, you know, and he's a very talented guy. I've, you know, just in the couple of matches that I've seen of his at ProSouth and, you know, matches I've seen of his elsewhere, I know that, you know, he has talent. It's raw and it's not, it hasn't been tapped yet, but he is a very talented wrestler. And then you have Marcus Eriks, who I've wrestled twice. but Marcus Erics has a bright future on him. He's just got to get his head in the game, and that's all it is. He has to have direction. And so when it comes down to the three that I would love to, get in the ring with, or, possibly stand across the ring from, maybe even stand with, who knows?
I like we did there.
Aaron Dallas, Tyrese Murphy, and Marcus Erics. And then as far as it goes with people I would like to face in the ProSouth ring, or, going forward, you say legends or people that have been around the business for a while, I'd love to see possibly an Alex Shelley come in, maybe a Matt Sydal. I feel like those would be really good challenges for myself, but also maybe just a few people we haven't heard from in a while. Maybe some of the ProSouth faithful that haven't been there. I know here a while back I faced people that a lot of people may not be familiar with, and the Brian Alexanders, the Waylon Rhodes, people that helped pave the road for ProSouth. I feel like I've become one of those people. Maybe, just maybe, we revisit a few things back in the past, and I'm able to take on some people that I've seen before. Maybe.
Not bad suggestions at all. We can't wait to see what happens after tomorrow night, obviously, to see who you will be facing later this year. So let's talk about as well, we should say, you got your biggest fight of the year tomorrow night, maybe proclaimed, maybe in the best match of your career of 2022, some people are saying as well, which is quite good. So what else can we expect or see from you then this year? You mentioned a few things possible opponent-wise, but what can we see in your skill set and the way you're going to maybe improve after March of this year? Have you got anything in the pipeline to change up your movement or anything like that to get better in the ring, or are you quite happy as you are?
Well, I try to take something away from every single time that I step into the ring with an opponent that elevates me. And when I think about somebody that has elevated me that I've stepped into the ring with, I think about Joe Black. Over a year, myself and Joe Black went head-to-head. And Joe Black took me to the absolute limit. I feel the fact that Joe Black doesn't have a contract somewhere is a travesty, because the man is more talented than he will ever get credit for. And he's, when you mention people on the indies that should be that next big signing, that to me, that's Joe Black. But stepping into the ring with somebody like Joe elevates you to a point. It made me, remember who I was. It made me realize, what I had to change about my game in order to be where I am right now. So stepping in the ring with someone like Rhyno, I have no option but to improve. Yeah, I have to improve. Because the thing is, if you don't improve, you get left behind. And there's going to be so many people come in. I spoke of, Aaron Dallas, Tyrese Murphy, Marcus Erics. Those are the guys that I expect that come in and take my spot. I'm not worried about like a Rhyno or anyone else coming in and taking my spot. I'm worried about those guys because they have so much untapped potential. But on the flip side of that, with as long as I've been doing this and every opponent that I face, I have to elevate my game. I have to make sure that when they step in the ring with Dameon Ceretone, that they know that they have been in the ring with Dameon Ceretone and no one else. There's no question that if you've been in the ring with Dameon Ceretone, you haven't been. There's no one to compare it to, and that's what I'm doing going forward with my style. As far as goals and what to see in 2022 is, just because I say I'm coming for the ProSouth Championship doesn't mean I'm stopping there. Alongside the ProSouth Championship, I'm also a number one contender in New Era Wrestling in Jasper for their championship. I look to take a few more opportunities for championships in the near future, and maybe, just maybe, I bring these championships back to ProSouth.
Well, like that. And I believe as well, I could be wrong, but you were also, what's the word, inducted into, is it their Hall of Fame?
Yeah. New Level Pro is inducting me in their Hall of Fame, their first annual class of Hall of Fame, and I think it's because of contributions over the past 15 years
Wow.
that I've been doing this. But
Vintage.
it's yeah, and I'm still in my mind, I'm still young.
You are. You look in your 30s, and you don't look like you've been here for 15 years, in my opinion. So when I saw the announcement, I was thinking, really? I didn't think you were that old to be in a Hall of Fame, but your years of experience, is mind blowing. So congratulations to you.
Right, and maybe that's what that's how you feel, because it's one of those. It's the way I feel, when I hear Hall of Fame, I'm like, man, so it's over. But
yeah,
but it's just I guess it's a look back on everything. It's the contributions. Ace Haven himself also will be going in that night. So there's a lot of I'm joining a good class, honestly, and just because I'm going into the Hall of Fame at New Level Pro doesn't mean I'm done there either.
Gotcha.
So what it comes down to is, I appreciate everyone, the management staff at New Level Pro, also for acknowledging the work I have put in over this time. So I'm very very honored for that, and maybe we just add that to the collection in 2022.
Yeah, why not? Why not? Do you get a trophy or something to take with you after the ceremony, or do you know?
I have no idea. Like, it's been I could show up and be in the New Level Pro Hall of Fame, and next thing you know, it could just all be a ruse for someone to attack or something. Who knows? Who knows? So the thing is I hope there's something. Either way, the accolade itself, that is it's a huge honor. But I'm not sure what I'll walk away with on that.
Someone just came into your studio. I think they have. Yeah. We will let our guests deal with that. Just remind you, this is a good cue to say who's on the show after today. Next Saturday, for the first show of April, as well as the first show in British summertime on this show. We've got a great female person coming on the show for the first time in 2022. We're welcoming a female. Be about 8 months since we had a female person on the show, so we can't wait to have on Ariana on the show on April the 3rd at 7 p.m. our time. And then on April 19th at 6 p.m. UK time as well, we've got an actor coming on the show. Brandon Tyler Russell will be on the show on April the 19th. He's been in many films over the past few years. If you just Google him, you might recognize some of the films he's been in. But they'll be both on the show on their respective dates over the next month. And of course, more people will be added to April as well. We got a great month of April, some possible guests coming on the show who you will not believe will be on the show. And I also just give a shout out to one of my other guests who've been on the show recently, Michael Matteo Wassi, I think that's how you pronounce it. He was on the show. He's a movie director, film director and producer and writer, and he is got Lita and Rikishi, a part of a huge project later this year. So I'm looking forward to find out what that project will be when I have him on the show again soon, and maybe I might be able to get on Rikishi and Lita maybe this year, but that's my goals. But I see Dameon is impressed, I say, or maybe not impressed by that, because we saw you with your reactions to that there. But yeah, because we've had a lot of great people on this show. And you are one of joining that list of A-listers on this show. So there you go.
I really do thank you for allowing me to come on and everything like that, and I wish you the best in your in 2022 with your show, and I really hope you're able to break through and be one of the the best podcast out there.
Yes,
You know?
yes, because again, this show is under no category. It's a variety. We run random people all the time from different places. You know, from you guys, from musicians to MMA fighters to to bare knuckle fighters. You name it, we probably cover them all here on the show. But back to you, however, can we ever see you popping off across the pond for a UK tour, or even bring the whole damn roster with you?
I was thinking as you were talking about all the people and stuff like that. I was thinking about it, and I'll be honest with you. If opportunity arises, I'm ready. I'm ready because I've thought about it already. Right before it's been rough with everything as far as COVID hitting, but right before COVID hit, I was thinking about hitting up a buddy in China, maybe a guy who's a zombie, maybe he's a dragon, I don't know. But I thought about hitting him up and seeing what is going on in China, and possibly making a little transport over there. So we're not going to rule out coming over there in the UK. Definitely. I'll tell you what, if anyone in the UK wants to hit me up with dates, wants to hit me up with opportunities, anything like that, we'll see what we can do. We'll see what we can do, and maybe, just maybe, we can bring, if not the whole ProSouth roster, maybe I can bring a few people with me, and maybe we can do a slight tour of a couple of weeks or something like that, and see what we can do.
That would be interesting for sure. We'd be interested to see you in the UK, reviewing some of the crew from ProSouth, hitting the stores, eating some fish and chips, hitting some local pubs over here as well. That'd be quite fun to see. But on that note, though, you mentioned about if anyone is interested, in how can they get in contact with you? Where can they find you on social media?
I recently created a Dameon Ceretone page. You can find me on Facebook on the Dameon Ceretone page. You can find me at Ceretone_time on Instagram. I don't really have a Twitter, just because I hate Twitter.
Do you?
And that's all.
Do you? Why? Why do you dislike Twitter? It's a place to be. It's fun. I love Twitter.
Man. Twitter is toxic, and that's just the way it is.
No, it's not. Depends. It depends who you associate yourself on Twitter with. If you follow the right people and you follow the right conversations, you don't see nothing toxic on there. That's how I've never seen any toxic behavior on Twitter, because I follow the right people. I make sure I stick to the correct discussions on there. I don't branch off. I don't follow peculiar people discussing rubbish on Twitter. I just go on there, see what I need to see, tweet out what I need to do, and interact with some A-listers, and then that's my day done and dusted.
Well, being a wrestler is kind of hard to stay away from a toxic environment as is.
That's true. That's true. But you're doing a very good job for yourself, though, for being there for 15 odd years. So you must be doing something right.
Right. Yeah. I try to keep my name out of anything that could possibly not be beneficial to my career as a wrestler or otherwise. And but yeah, that's why I don't do much Twitter. I'll be honest with you. Maybe in the future I will. It all depends on opportunities that come up. If opportunities arise that call for a need for me to have a Twitter, I will. I won't be very active, I'll be honest. But
just get somebody else to manage it for you. By the way, you could do that as well, maybe.
You're right. So yeah, but definitely on Instagram at Ceretone Time, and on Facebook at Dameon Ceretone. I also have my personal page on Facebook. Really, follow any of the links that you posted here, and that's a great way to get in contact with me. And maybe, hopefully, I can make that trip overseas, and we'll see what happens.
Indeed, and of course, so you've got over 300 followers on the Instagram page you were talking about as well. So congratulations for you on that. For I think like 300 and maybe 80 something. I could be wrong there, but I know it's more than me. I'm in my 300s on Instagram, but not as much as you. So even though you may not post as often as I do, but You're doing something right to grow your fan base on that particular site anyway.
Yeah, I that's one of my downfalls. I'll be honest with you. I don't do a lot of social media.
Don't blame you. I
and
don't blame you. I told you you're a very busy guy as well. You know, and you probably have got other things to do during the week.
Yeah. But in an age of social media, I should be more active, especially being the YouTube champion. You would think, hey, this guy's going to be a lot more active in social media, and maybe I should. But it's one of those things. I feel like it's very immersive, and it calls you in, it brings you in, and you can get on the wrong side of things very easy on media. So I try not to get too immersed in social media. I try to live my life outside of social media, but I have a lot of contacts. Like this doing an interview right here on social media is a lot different than what I normally do. So
really, right? What do you usually do? Do you usually in person? I guess would it be or?
Oh, well, we'll post a couple of videos. We'll post a couple of man. I had I had like 1,500 people that was on my Facebook at one time, and I went through, and one night I was just like, I'm done seeing all this, and I deleted like probably 700 to 800 of them.
Yeah, I did that. I did that as well the other day. I had like 300 people, and I thought, some of these people I don't even want on this Facebook anymore. So I deleted like I don't know how many, but I'm now down to like 277 people. So I might need to I need to remove a bit more, but yeah, I did a clear out myself. So I think that's something we both done this year.
Right.
It's quite good.
In one night, honestly, I went from close to 1,500 people to a little over 300.
Wow.
And that's yeah. So I shot myself in the foot with a lot of things, but also it's just one of those things that mental health and basically keeping yourself sane, doing everything that it takes to be a better person overall. It's hard to do when you're so immersed in other people's lives, honestly. So I've been trying to focus on my life. I've had a lot of obstacles here just in this calendar year, but I've tried to focus on a lot of what I'm doing going forward, and wrestling is a part of that. Wrestling, I told myself I was going to take more bookings this year. I was going to take more dates. I was going to branch out a little bit, and I feel like I've been doing a good job so far. So maybe it is time to at least climb the social media ladder and accept a few people here and there, and we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, well, best luck with that, and hopefully you get more active on social media this year, and hopefully you get more bookings and branch out more and go and experience different states and whatnot. It'd be quite good for you. As of course the summer is now approaching, so you don't worry about the long nights or the dark mornings, because that's all behind you for now, because that's until like November, isn't it? I think, or October, when the clocks go back an hour in the US. But of course there is chatter that of course from next November you will no longer be changing your clocks in America. So aren't you guys lucky?
I've heard that. I've really heard that. And I don't know. It's an old, it was basically for the farmers and everything like that back in the day. But also it was adapted, a long time ago. And when it comes down to it, there's a lot of things that have been adapted a long time ago that we need to step away from. And this may be one of those.
Yeah, because it'd be quite good for you guys, because in the wintertime, we'll be about, I think, 4 or 5 hours behind each other instead of the old 6 hours behind you. Ahead of you. You'll be 6 hours behind us, but we'll be 6 hours ahead of you, kind of thing. So it'd be quite good to get rid of it in the wintertime anyway.
Which makes for a hell of a flight if I do decide to come over.
Yeah, it'd be quite good because we get an extra hour with our US friends, kind of thing, because like, for instance, on the West Coast, the UK is 8 hours ahead of them, but at the moment we are 7 hours ahead of them. So we get an extra hour of them on our fees and whatnot. So it's quite good.
Good stuff, man. Like I don't. That's another thing. If I travel over, I'm gonna have to deal with the time change and the jet lag and everything like that.
All that good stuff,
you know,
isn't it?
maybe maybe there will be a benefit other than just the travel.
Absolutely. Hopefully, maybe there might be faster planes by then. Maybe instead of like a 9-hour flight, you could make by 5 hours, for instance. That'd be quite good, wouldn't it? Is everyone keeps jumping off to space or whatnot? Do about flights in this country or that country and make it faster to get to places, because there was talk about that.
I'm just glad there's able to be flights again, with all the pandemic that hit and everything like that. Granted, you could probably do a round trip for like $200, during the pandemic, but I'm glad that it's everything's settling a little bit and everybody's able to get back out there. Because I would definitely love to travel. It's on my bucket list. So hitting the UK, hitting Europe in general. It's something I would love to do.
Good. But we hope it's a possibility in your future before you are not able to carry things. That'd be quite good. So let's talk about this, because of course I don't know when because ProSouth management reached out to us to say that you would be a great guest to come on this show. And then, of course, I'm guessing they reached out to you by saying you should come on this show. When they reached out to you to come on this show, did they tell you anything about how this show works, or anybody who's been on the show previously, apart from ProSouth guys, obviously? But did they tell you anything else about who's been on the show apart from ProSouth guys or anything like that?
No, I have no inclination on what happened. I was planning on watching a couple of interviews, but the last one I think was Cameron East, and that means I would have to hear him talk.
Right.
And so
well, we have had on a few people after. We've had on Wilmer Miller. We've had on the ring announcer for ProSouth. His name has escaped me. I don't want to say the wrong name.
Is it let's see, you said announcer or commentator? Is it James Hardy?
Yes, James Hardy. I wasn't sure if I could say James, because I wasn't sure if that was his real name or not. But so James Hardy, yes, we've had him on the show. He was a great guest to have on the show. He was quite fun. Before Cameron Keister, we did have on Scott Hudson, former WCW and TNA announcer, who's actually going to be at ProSouth tomorrow night, and he's going to be calling your match, I'm sure. So you're a bit scared of what he may say when you wrestle Rhyno tomorrow night?
Actually, there's a funny story about that. Scott Hudson was not originally playing for the show.
Wasn't he? Oh, great. That's not good.
So he was not originally playing for the show. I requested Scott Hudson to call my match.
And James Hardy has just commented, by the way. Sorry to interrupt you. James Hardy just said, yup, me. Sorry about James Hardy. I apologize. Your name just escaped me, so I apologize. But yeah, he's here. He's a great guy. I don't know why you don't like him. He's a good guy. He's the voice of ProSouth.
I really wish James Hardy's name could escape me. Scott Hudson, going back to that, Scott wasn't normally, because he does our anniversary shows.
Yeah, that's correct,
year.
yeah.
And it's been a great, it's been a great opportunity to have Scott in, and I love his work. I've always loved his work. I used to watch him back when he was doing WCW, and he is one of my favorite commentators. And I heard once the Rhyno thing came up, and I knew that I was going to be facing Rhyno, I put in a request to ProSouth management to reach out to Scott Hudson, because Scott Hudson, like I said, I've always loved his work. If there's anybody that I ever want to call this match, it was going to be Scott Hudson. So, Scott had came on the podcast, and he had talked a lot about myself and how he appreciates my work and everything like that. I too, appreciate Scott Hudson's work. So when it comes down to it, as much as I'm a Scott Hudson guy and Scott Hudson's a me guy, like I could not go into these matches without going, hey, call Scott and see if Scott wants to do this. So so I'm really glad that Scott's going to be there. I'm not worried in the least. I'm worried more about whoever he's sitting with. I'm worried more about what they'll say.
Well, because he's got Noah next to him and some other chap alongside him commentating. So I'm guessing you were a big fan of those two calling your match for probably your biggest match of the year. So yeah, that makes sense. But good on Scott though, because that's made me more eager to watch the show tomorrow night. Because I actually did message him yesterday when I saw the announcement drop yesterday. I actually did message him He did see it, but unfortunately he didn't respond to me. So I don't know if he's mad at me or something. But he didn't respond to me. He's probably just busy, but he didn't respond to my message. I don't want to put out there.
He probably heard you were talking about James Hardy, and he was like, "Yeah, anybody who's associated with."
That's hilarious. Apologies as well if you could hear an ice cream van truck outside, because it usually does come around this time of night. So apologies if you could hear the chimes of the ice cream van truck. I don't know if you guys have an ice cream van truck crawling around neighborhoods in America, trying to get children to come out to buy some ice cream. But we get that a lot over here. So apologies.
We don't get as much as we did when I was a child. Which then again, over in the UK, the transport of the public is a lot better over there also. So you have a lot of public things that are, in my opinion, a lot better in the UK than they are, in America when it comes to interaction of public.
Well, when you come over here, you might get a better idea, and then you can give a good comparison. I think you might think the US has the better transport than we do.
Yeah, I have a buddy that was actually born. My best friend's born in Germany.
Wow.
So the thing is he he tells me about a few things over there. He's done a few trips to the UK and whatnot. And when it comes down to it, I'm a huge fan of public transport, just because it saves on a lot of driving and stuff like that and whatnot. So I've always appreciated how the UK and most of Europe treats their people as far as public transport is concerned. I really wish we could get more into that over here without it being a subway or a dirty bus.
Well, we do, because think about this: when it snows in this country, right? When we get a bit of snow, most things stop running. But in America, when you have lots of snow, you keep going. So we're like the laughing stock of the world, and you guys just keep going along like it's a normal day. That's how we see it. That
depends on where you are. That really depends on where you are. If you're in Minnesota, it's a normal day to get 4-5 inches to a foot of snow. Down here, one single solitary drop of snow, and we shut every school down.
Really?
So
That's a bit extreme, that, isn't it?
Yeah. The South is a lot different, honestly.
They're not used to it. That's why they're too used to the warm weather, aren't they?
Right, exactly. And then it gets a little too hot up north, and you hear people having heat strokes and stuff down here. It gets a little too hot down here, and we'll just start sitting on the porch more. That's all.
Yeah, don't blame you. Before we let you go, though, there's 2 more questions. You might have answered one before, I can't remember. You may have said about who you would like to see ProSouth bring in next after Rhyno. Who would you like to see come in to ProSouth later this year for after Rhyno, then, in your own opinion?
Well, let's see. Like I said, I think Alex Shelley's been doing the round on the Indies.
Yeah,
and I think that would be a great opportunity there. It's hard because all of the guys that are in the Indies right now are
hot, aren't they? Like hot puppeteers. Yeah, I get you.
Not only that, you'd love to look around and say, oh man, I would love to see a Johnny Gargano or something like that come in, but it's you got to think of in the realm of a possibility, because there's a Johnny Gargano, a Killer Cross, the Titan Adam Scherr, EC3, all these people that are out here just killing the indies. Matt Cardona also.
Yeah.
So you see these guys come out here killing the indies. I think any of those guys would be a great addition. But it seems like everybody's so busy now. And that's not a bad thing, though. That's not a bad thing. Because business brings business, and so I really think it would be a great opportunity to have any of those guys come in.
Yeah, not bad picks either, but I was quite shocked you didn't mention one guy, so we guess that you might be scared of him because he might bring his secret weapon with him. Any idea what I mean by that? Nope.
You said who?
I said you didn't mention one person, and that might be because you might be scared of his secret weapon, if you know what I mean.
And who's this?
This is the guy who brings the worms. Imagine he came to ProSouth and you ate his worms. That'd be quite entertaining. I
Oh,
think James Hardy will enjoy that.
oh, are you talking the Boogeyman?
Yes, the Boogeyman. Yes, imagine he came to ProSouth Wrestling.
Well, I mean,
I'm not saying he is. That'd be the person who I would love to see in ProSouth Wrestling.
Awesome. Yeah, put him in the ring with James. I'd love it.
well, I was saying like him against you. You take the worms, and I'm sure James Hardy will enjoy that. But if you're saying it should be the way around, that'd be still be entertaining. But I don't know if the fans will enjoy that or not.
Worms don't really fit into my my diet plan. That doesn't really work out. I might be busy that day.
Yes.
Just let me know when it comes
Yeah.
in, and I would definitely, because as a former tag team champion with James Hardy, I feel like that would be a perfect time for him to sub for me.
Oh, okay. I get that. And our final question, because we are running over time here, so apologies. So James Hardy is still watching, by the way. He said no. As his straight answer is a no. So there you go. I think James Hardy agrees with me that I think he prefers you being eaten out by a worm, or maybe other things. Our last question before we will plug the final thing here this evening is who would you say I should bring on the show next?
As far as, say, ProSouth Wrestling goes?
Yes, ProSouth Wrestling goes, yes. Who do you think I should have on the show next?
You know, Ace has always had a lot of interesting things to talk about on the show. And I feel like there's a lot of untapped, maybe even questions that you could ask that no one's asked him before. Maybe a little, insider business things when it comes to ProSouth that he might know a little bit better because he's a little closer with Amy being commissioner.
Yes.
But
I wonder how she got that job, by the way. I wonder how she got that job. That's what I want to know.
Well, I would like to think they didn't draw it out of a hat. But
maybe.
But it's one thing. I didn't see the application for it, so I'm not really sure. But when it comes down to it, like, I think Ace will be a great addition. But also the Ghost Eric Silva. Eric Silva is he's been doing this for a while himself, and I feel like a lot of his, especially with the Left Hand Path, because you got people like Trevor and Towers that are noticed a lot for what they do. But to me, Eric Silva's a great mentor. He's also he's also a pretty good friend when it comes down to it, and I think he has a lot as far as questions or being inside the wrestling business, traveling the way he does with the people he travels with. He would have a lot of insight on wrestling as a whole, not just ProSouth, but wrestling as a whole. And I feel like Eric Silva would be a great guest coming forward on the show.
Well, we thank you for the suggestions, and I'll have to see what I can do to bring either Eric Silva or even Ace Haven himself onto the show. I have asked Ace Haven in the past. Didn't get a response, so I don't know if that means yes or no. But I know he's a very busy guy, but we'll see. But Eric Silva, not a bad pick either. I'll have to see if I can get in contact with him through the powers of be at ProSouth Management. And finally, again, don't forget, tomorrow night it's going to be a big night of action for ProSouth Wrestling Redemption, the big show. And it's going to be fantastic. And the main fight we're featuring this is, of course, the YouTube champion who's here today on our show. Again, with the YouTube championship in his hand, we'll be facing off the War Machine Rhyno for the YouTube championship in an ECW Rules match. And the only way you can watch this is live on YouTube. We'll be there in person to witness maybe history, where possibly Rhyno might walk out as the YouTube championship, or will we see Dameon retain the YouTube championship? So be there in person, or if you can't be there in person, then tune in on youtube.com/ProSouth Wrestling. The link is in the description below of this video, so set your reminders. It starts at 7:30 p.m. Central Time, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time is when the show will begin. midnight in the morning here on Saturday morning here in the UK. Of course, the actual stream countdown, or what we're going to call it, will begin at 05 minutes past the hour at 7:05 p.m. Central Time or 8:05 p.m. Eastern Time. The only show on a Friday night which goes against other interesting shows on TV. So be a part of history making, be a part of the debut of Rhyno in ProSouth Wrestling tomorrow night. And again, best of luck to you, Dameon, and make the best man win.
All right. Thank you for having me on it.
You're welcome. Have a great rest of your day.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Cool. So that was Dameon on the show, there on the Fowler Show. I hope you enjoyed that interesting topic we discussed. With most of it, 20 minutes, we spent a bit discussing Rhyno on this show. Of course, there'll be a clip of that coming out on my social medias this evening. You can find me on Facebook, you can find me on Twitter, and you can find me on Instagram as well. But if you are new around here, though, and you want to keep up with all the latest going on in the world of this show, make sure to give this video a like. Make sure to share the video around to all your friends. Tell more about Dameon, and tell more about how this is the best kept secret on YouTube with over 166 subscribers, by the way, where we bring you random people to A-lister celebrities. The only show on TV, well, not the only show on TV, but the only show on the internet where if you don't like something, comment live, because chances are I will see it and I can give that reaction to our guest that you saw with Dameon before. And make sure as well to subscribe to this YouTube channel if you want to see more content and more interviews, because the more subscribers we get, the more viewers we can get, the more chances we can get on more people on this great show based in Manchester, UK. And make sure to tune in tomorrow night for ProSouth Wrestling's big event, one of the big shows of the year, I will say. I'm going to go on record for that. But until the next episode drops, which will be next week, next Saturday, April 3rd, 7 p.m. UK time, it will be Ariana on the show. Can't wait for that. It's not next Saturday, that's next Sunday. My apologies, I get the wrong time out. One date, just say. And of course, on April 19th, it will be Brandon Tyler Russell, who's a great actor who's been in many films. Will be on the show at 6 p.m. UK time as well. Hope you can join me for both of those. And as well, there'll be plenty more guests coming on the show throughout April. I've got a great guest coming on, I hope, in a few weeks, which will blow your mind from the world of wrestling as well. Might be a bit of a controversial one though, but we will see how it goes. But again, stay tuned to my social media to find out who that may be. But from all of us though, from the Fowler Show, enjoy the rest of your Thursday night on the last Thursday of March and the last Thursday for us in Grimace Me Time, because next week it's all British summertime for us here in the UK. But from all of us though, have a great rest of your afternoon or evening.